Hey, good afternoon by 2 minutes. Welcome to our live program. And we're live because we're not in Iran and we're not mullahs, just saying, which is a good thing, right? So, without further ado, the guy who maxed out the Ed McMahon finishing school with all A's with a bottle of bourbon to bring home was Chris Cordani. Hey, Chris.
That's right, a free bottle of bourbon, mind you, and that's what I always wanted.
I was on with our friend Mary Walter last night. Mary wants to come on the show, by the way. You need to reach out to
Good.
her.
I like her.
And
She's
and
very
I was
good.
trying to explain to her. I mentioned about you reaching out to her and about how you'd maxed out the Ed McMahon finishing school and ended up on the beach. You were able to survive the drunk on the beach event at Santa Monica Pier. She
Oh,
didn't
oh, oh, oh,
she
oh.
didn't get it.
What do
Why?
you mean? You're always
She
funny.
thought I
I mean, I
was
mean, I mean,
serious.
funny.
She thought I was serious. It was like, no, it's a joke, Mary.
Oh, well, I got to tell you, maybe she's been watching too much Jennifer Welch.
Whew.
Uh,
I know that I can be pretty flat in my delivery of things, but it's like I don't think I was that flat and like sincere in my, my delivering that you watched up on the beach in Santa Monica, and were the honor graduate of the class. I don't think I somehow I didn't think I was that credible in that comment, but I don't know. I don't know these
hey, let's put it this way. Uh, I was thinking about Ed McMahon, the drinking and everything. Then I thought, who would win in a real drinking contest? Jennifer Welch or Nancy Pelosi?
Oh man, that would be a week long content. That would be like roll the truck in. We got to get some more. Bring in. You shut down the ABC stores in 3 states by having that happen.
Yeah, that
Oh,
like that nice liquor store in New Hampshire on the way, right when you get across the border on Route
yeah,
95.
I've
Yeah,
seen that.
yep, they'll be all the way in there. They can clear the place out. That's what's going to happen. No room for Ed McMahon anymore. Darn.
No, no. As a matter of fact, we should pursue this, Chris, because we could put them on a bus and it could be their drinking tour. So we could see, put them on a bus so they could go state to state, draining the entire reserve of each state's liquor availability, and then see who could live. It could be a coast to coast thing. Who could drink the most coast to coast? That's a
It,
great contest there. That's
it
a
would
great contest.
be an episode of WKRP in Cincinnati, like the one where Venus Flytrap and Johnny Dr. Johnny Fever were drinking chugging down beer and then testing their reflexes live on the air. While
Yeah.
Venus Flytrap was getting really drunk, like Nancy Pelosi, Jennifer Welch, or I'll say that Dr. Johnny Fever was actually his reflexes were much better
Yeah.
after all the drinking. So I guess if you're used to it, well, we'll see what happens.
Exactly. So let's ask. I get the magic Jake Sullivan pickle, the predictive pickle here in my hand. Let's see. Let's ask the pickle if it could be if Jennifer Welsh or Nancy Pelosi, which one would win? So magic pickle. Which one would win the drinking contest, Nancy or Jennifer?
Not today, buddy, old pal.
I guess he's not working today. So.
Oh,
No
oh,
pickle
oh.
for us today.
By the, by the way, feel free to join us on the live chat. Tomorrow you have a very special guest. We're going to get into
We
that
do.
as well for the deep
We do.
dive. But I
Yeah.
do have some breaking news. We're going to talk Iran. We have a special guest to talk about that with you today. But there is some big news coming out of yesterday inside our own homeland. Probably predictable.
Yeah.
But Yasmin Croquet,
Oh,
the posh lady from Texas, is out. She will not be the Democrats' Senate candidate in Texas.
sad.
She
Sad.
lost to White Beto. I guess Tellerico is his name.
Yeah,
like a white
the satanic evangelist. He
Yeah, there we go.
evangelizes for Satan.
But watch this guy. His hair looks like Beto O'Rourke's. His mannerisms, the way he talks. He's trying to win Texas over by being the White Beto.
Yeah, no doubt.
Uh, no Doubt was a pretty good band, I guess, back in the day. But
No, well, a friend of mine knows Gwen Stefani. I've always
really,
wanted to meet her. Yeah.
she has a great voice. Well, here's
She has a
something for
great
you. Let's hear some. If you can't hear Gwen Stefani, let's hear the next best thing. Jasmine Crockett blaming everybody else but herself.
So, so that's my news, is that we're not going to have election results tonight, in my
Sure.
opinion.
Oh,
Yeah,
wait.
right.
So she's saying this, Tony, And look at the results next. You're talking about too early to call. This is like almost a
That's
10-point difference.
that's a big spread there for those who follow not Olympics, follow politics. That's a big spread. That's not like, oh, it can go either way.
Right. And it's not a
By the way,
Kamala Harris.
So let me hit that too, real quick, because the issue to me was she was blaming the folks in Dallas. Like, Dallas is still a blue city. It's like the Democrats control Dallas, despite J.R. Ewing's massive investment. He never bought it. Just saying, J.R., if you're out there, it's okay. So no, it's like she's blaming the Republicans. Like, no, every Republican I've spoken to wanted her to win because she's the less electable candidate.
Right. She's
Just
the
saying.
light work. She is the light work. She was blaming she thought Republicans screwed her over. The one man who screwed her over was Stephen Colbert, pretty much. Not giving her
well, that
equal
was
time.
clearly election interference as far as I'm concerned. So,
Right.
but she was saying election interference is what caused her to lose. Like, but you voted against protecting elections. Yeah.
She also blamed this whole idea that now here's something we should all know. Texas closes its polls at 7.
Yeah.
Some districts open till 9. They stayed open until 9, which is unlike what Texas should be doing.
Yeah.
So she's yammering on about polls not being open at a certain time, even though some of them were open afterwards, after the official Texas time. So
but that's the thing. That should have benefited her, and it didn't.
Right.
I mean,
let's hear some more from her.
Yeah.
Based upon what specifically is taking place in Dallas County.
There we go.
Unfortunately, this is what Republicans like to do.
Oh my God.
Yeah, Republicans. Oh, we wanted you to win.
They specifically targeted Dallas County, and I think we all know why.
We all know that didn't happen. That's science fiction.
I want you to enjoy yourselves.
And
I won't be back tonight because I have no idea of when we're going to get results, and I fully anticipate it won't be until tomorrow. So,
no, she anticipates it won't be good. That's what she said.
It got closer. It got closer.
Thank you so very much for being here. Love you down. I love you down.
Love you down. What the hell does that mean? Does that mean like a down blanket or what?
Or is it down like Kamala Harris? So that could
Willie
be the
Brown
thing.
down.
Oh, and here she is beforehand, I guess. Yammering on about saying that there's going to be cheating and it's not going to be the Democrats. But let me tell you something. This is again before the speech.
Fred has already stated. We encourage each and every one of you to remain resilient. We cannot allow this type of behavior to be rewarded, because so long as they know that they can win, even if it means cheating, then they will continue to do it.
The Democrats did their best to make sure she didn't win, and she'll never admit it. When she finds out or she figures it out, she is going to scream about it if she's allowed to.
Well, nobody's going to listen because they've moved on. She was that girl for like 10 minutes when she was convenient in her being all in the face of Donald Trump, but people lost their interest because she sucks. Just like Kamala. And I'm not talking about the Mayor Willie Brown way either, just saying.
Oh, hey yo. Another thing, another big loser in Texas, though, aside from her, that was more predictable. Losing his primary was Dan Crenshaw, once rising star of the Republican Party in Texas, one of the projected new wave of Republican lawmakers during the earlier
I'm not
era.
heartbroken. I'm not heartbroken.
Right. He's turned, unfortunately.
Yeah, my few encounters with him weren't all that great. I ran into him a couple times at events at Trump International back in the day when I was advising the Trump campaign, and he just didn't seem to be on board with the Trump agenda. And I'm not on board with anything. I'm a Reagan guy, but most of what Trump does is within, Reagan-esque view of things. Crenshaw was into gun control and some of these other things, which I don't think that's a Republican value, just saying. So I think it's good that he got, eliminated, so to speak.
What bothers guys like him is the Trump tent is a wider cast net.
Yeah.
There are so many different schools of thought under the Trump tent
Yeah.
that
It's a big tent.
traditional or neocon Republicans do not have a place there
It's a
anymore.
big tent. Yeah.
Right.
The
Right.
neocon. Yeah. So speaking of neocons, people need to go on my X feed today
Yes, that was fun recently, by the way.
because man, I've been going after the neocons. I mean, obviously, I made a statement yesterday, which is out there, and I basically said, look, what Trump is. I'm not a neocon. I'm not converted. What Trump is doing is going after a death cult, the Shia. The Shia are a death cult. It is what it is. And, Pete, my friend Pete said it today during his briefing. Not that we've had any contact over this, just saying, but I know that Pete and I think similarly on this. And the reason that we're acting now is because of the cumulative continued expansion of the Shia, the Iranians as a threat to civilization. And they did believe, and they do believe that
look at us.
they have to use nuclear weapons to bring about the apocalypse, so that their 12th imam, Mahdi, this guy named Mahdi, I guess he probably hangs out down at the bar on the 5th and Vine in Boston or something. I guess by creating the apocalypse, this guy comes back. I guess he pops on a plane and flies back or something. But he's their version of Jesus, and he's supposed to be the political successor of Allah. And so, as I said yesterday, inshallah, apparently President Trump was good in delivering all these guys to see Allah. So inshallah, God bless them all, so to speak.
There we go. They can play Magic the Gathering with their 72 virgins, because that's what you're going to be doing over there.
That's right.
Having said that,
Yeah.
please subscribe to Tony's X page at T
Please do.
Spooky. There's a lot of
Check us out.
exclusive content, stuff you really can't see in public. You got all the great stuff, including
That's right.
Yeah,
It's great content, not incontinence, like
Right.
Over with Hillary Clinton. That's
There
what I
we
think
go.
the problem was with it. Just saying.
Oh, heyo. We also have those the Sunday debriefs, the deep dives, and other special content you can't get anywhere else. Your special commentary. It's really it's about the price of it's actually around the price of a couple of cups of coffee for a whole month. How about that?
That's
Not
right.
bad. It's like
It's-
you're buying
it's-
Tony a coffee.
Let me translate that. So it's actually 3 cups of 7-Eleven coffee or 2 cups of special coffee at Starbucks. But in any case, we're better than them because we don't keep you up at night.
Heyo. And don't forget, subscribe to this channel. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. We're compiling more people. We'd love to have more people here on the YouTube channel. You get hit the red bell so we get the notices when
That's right.
we have the clips up and everything else, because we have the previews there. And definitely spread the word. If you're watching this on X or on YouTube or on Facebook,
Yeah.
share this link, share
Check
the
us out.
stream, because we'd love to spread the word. And we thank you for that. We'll be forever grateful. One person who's not forever grateful is we're going to do more about Iran, but I want to throw a few more losers at you. Kathy Hochul has lost. She took a big beating, as a matter of fact. She tried once again to gerrymander the congressional districts in New York, and
There
the
she is.
Supreme Court said no.
Yeah.
She tried to draw, and the Democrats, by the way, it's all run by one party in New York. They tried to draw out purposely Cuban American Nicole Maliotakis from her district in and around Bay Ridge, Brooklyn, the only Republican district in the city. It was obvious, it was blatant, and they stopped her.
Yeah, good. I like Bay Ridge. I mean, it's a great place because the mafia at least used to control it. And I don't know if you knew this, Chris. If you had a Bay Ridge dealer license plate on your car, they basically left you alone in the city because they knew you were part of the mafia. I don't know if that's true or not now.
Not
that I
now.
worry about.
In fact, I produced a guy down in Bay Ridge. He was a lawyer, did a lawyer's show on AM 970, The Answer. Great station, by the way. Next door to us was Nicole Maliotakis' office when she was a state assembly person.
Yeah.
What happened to Bay Ridge over that time I was there, is 2013 and onward. It, let's just say, increased in the increased in the Muslim population heavily. And I actually saw one of those Muslim police cars, the Sharia police cars, driving around the neighborhood around 3rd and Broadway, I believe, 77th and Broadway in
Wow.
in Bay Ridge. Yes, I saw it. I witnessed it. I had to do a double take because I'm nearsighted. I think I didn't really just see that, did I?
Yeah. Well, that was hideous. I mean, anybody who any organization that buys into the whole Sharia issue is evil. And in the good old days, Bay Ridge in that area was immigrants from the Soviet Union. And that's one of the reasons we had a detachment at Fort Hamilton, right under the Verrazano Bridge there in Bay Ridge. So, yeah, we used to be, it used to be ostensibly an immigrant neighborhood, but Eastern European and Russian, which I don't think they have Sharia there, do they, Chris? I think they're like us.
We don't have Sharia.
more
What we
like
do
us.
have though is Cherie law for Cherie Curry because she's
Sherry
clear-
Curry. We've had a
She's gonna
very
come back on
we've
here.
had a great discussion with Sherry over the. We need to bring her back on and have some
Yeah,
more.
we had a nice fun text, a little text around with her and Susan
Yeah.
Olson. That was great. But it's always good that people follow what's going on. And
Susan
actually look underneath the
Susan
layer.
owes it because I sent her Lucky T-shirts. Just so.
That's right. Yeah, she does owe you. She'll come on, as you know. However, I'm tossed up right now because I do want to give you the biggest takedown of Keir Starmer I have ever seen.
Ooh.
But I also want to tell the audience that this great interview you did with John Bachman the other day is going to air on your deep dive tomorrow. It's going
Tomorrow.
to be on. It's going to be available
8
to
o'clock.
your subscribers to your X channel.
It's
to
great.
your
It's
X
a-
channel.
And it was a great interview, if I say so myself. And I
Right.
do say so.
Well,
yeah.
I picked out a little part to preview here on the live stream because I thought it would
Yeah.
be cool. All right, let's do this now. I want to
Yeah.
play a section where you and he talked a little bit about Alexander I'm in charge now Haig and a little meeting he had beforehand and with Reagan. And that's let's see, I'm going to pull that up right now. Check it out. It'll be a couple minutes and you can see the rest on, of course, we have clips on our channel, but you can see the rest tomorrow, starting
Yeah.
tomorrow on
Tomorrow
Tony's.
evening.
Yeah, if you subscribe to Tony on X.
When I talked to Craig Shirley, when I kind of pitched this book to him, I said, is this a necessary book in the story of Reagan? Am I covering new territory? He said, absolutely. You got to talk about this book. And I asked him, I said, where should I start? I wound up starting with Nicaragua, but he's like, you got to focus on the transition from Alexander Haig as first Secretary of State to George Shultz, because they brought in Alexander Haig to kind of be an outside voice from the inner circle of Ronald Reagan. He was had a long, successful career in the military, a general, of course, worked very closely
He
with.
was a Nixon guy.
He was a Nixon guy.
Good or bad, but he's a Nixon
Well, it turned out to be bad, especially for Alexander Haig, because it was very clear that he didn't fit in. But there was what Ronald Reagan wanted to do. He was always kind of being subversive and doing all these things. Like he would fly planes close to the Kamchatka Peninsula just to activate Soviet radar and get them. And then in 1981, I believe, it was Christmas 1981. So right before, or I guess he was recovering from being shot. And this was when Lech Walesa, the Polish stevedore, was coming to popularity and leading the Solidarity movement in Poland. And the United States wanted to show support for Lech Walesa without creating an international incident. And the Soviets, the Eastern Bloc was obviously in charge. There was Poland was on the brink of a revolution there, thanks to Lech Walesa. And there was, through negotiations, there was plans to send John Deere's international harvesters to Eastern Bloc countries to kind of keep trade going. They were going to buy them from us. Ronald Reagan says, we can't do this right now with the way that they are treating Lech Walesa basically as a political prisoner. So what do? We can't stop this. This will cause a big deal with the Soviets if we actually come out as a policy and stop this. So Reagan concocts this idea. What we can do is we can have the local stevedores, the dock workers union, stage a strike here in the United States, saying out of solidarity with Lech Walesa, they're not going to help put this farm equipment on these ships. And Alexander Haig says, that's just as bad as us coming out as policy. The Soviets will see right through it. And sir, if you do this, you're going to start a nuclear war with the Soviets. And of course, Reagan knew that was not the case.
Of course.
And he was sitting there in his national security team, his national security council, and he had to go to a Christmas party. And he says, well, I made my decision. And he said, and Alexander Haig, emphatic, urging President Reagan, you can't do this. Reagan leaves, kind of looks back through the door and says, well, boys, you better stack up on vodka.
So and the full clip will be on YouTube, but the full interview is going to be is for X subscribers exclusively to Tony's T Spooky
Yeah, and I've been joined by my friend Manny, who is a sphinx. See, oh my goodness.
I want to check out the underground labyrinth.
Moving the crowd. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
he's a cat. He doesn't know better. There he goes. He's off.
Hey, it's
Anyway,
all good.
so pick up John's book, Turning Point. I've already picked up like 6 because I'm giving them out like hotcakes.
Yes.
And I think
don't have
people
one.
will enjoy it because so one of the things people are going to learn about how John did the research. We talk a lot about that because I helped him. He asked me.
Cool.
Is it axe or ask?
Well, you're not at the Jasmine Crockett campaign
So
headquarters
he
right now.
asked me to help him out, which I linked him up with my dear friend, Dr. Chris Lehman, who was the nuclear weapons advisor to President Reagan, the brother of Secretary of the Navy John Lehman, and then also my dear friend and mentor Edwin Meese, who did his own book. Hold on, I actually.
This is good. See, you have a vast collection of books here, and so do I.
I do.
I have to go all the way back behind my green screen
here it
here
is.
for that.
Ed wrote a book too. I'm not promoting his book. I'm just saying I did link John up with Ed Meese with Reagan, as opposed to being with Watermelon. I think Reagan was better than Watermelon. Don't you think? I think so.
Well, Reagan was better than a lot of things. So
He was. Anyway, go check out John's book. You're going to learn a lot. It's going to be good, and you learn a lot in our discussion tomorrow. But we couldn't cover everything.
Well, we're going to talk more Iran. We have a special guest coming up in just a few moments. But before that, probably one of the better Iran stories was learning where your friends are. And Keir Starmer decided to make things difficult for Donald Trump. And this man is not our ally. He never was.
He's a lawyer. He's a bureaucrat, and he does what bureaucrats do.
He's a globalist. He reaps the benefits from his higher ups. And by the way, remember, this is the guy who was a lead prosecutor. As a lead prosecutor, tried to hide a migrant, migrant underage sex trafficking. The word would be network, if you will. Even though he was supposed to be the lead prosecutor, an awful human being all around. And finally, somebody in Britain says that. I guess the police will be knocking on this lady's door pretty soon. You want to hear this takedown?
This was great. Yeah, play this. This is great.
Takedown.
She is like on the spot. Go ahead. This is great.
It horrifies me to read that. And Jake is right. Our amazing armed forces deserve all the credibility. They deserve good resources. They deserve to have our full support. They deserve to be protected, for crying out loud. We were exposed out there. We knew that there was going to be war in that region, and we have left them undefended. And now France and Greece are having to run to our rescue. Do you know what? I've got a message, not just for this Prime Minister, but all of you, for the past 20 years, you have been self-indulgent. You have been naive. Your policy principles have had totally the wrong priorities. It's been about keeping your seats, gaining your seats, pandering to communities who will never vote for you, who do not have our interests at heart. You didn't stop those pro-Palestine marches. You didn't prescribe the Muslim Brotherhood. You didn't prescribe the IRGC. You were weak in support of Israel. You have sabotaged our self-sufficiency when it comes to energy production, concreting those oil wells, banning exploratory drilling in the North Sea. What on earth do you think you're doing? You're domestic terrorists. You're sabotaging this nation. You're compromising food security by attacking the farmers. Well, guess what? When international maritime shipping routes close down, food can no longer reach our island. Everything that this government and, quite frankly, previous governments have been doing for far too long now has been pathetic. It's been weak-willed. It has had its eye off the ball. It has been narcissistic. It's been about looking good in public. And at the same time, you have put Britain in a desperately precarious situation. You've flooded this land with foreign enemies. You have not secured our borders because of a pandering to out-of-date, not fit for purpose international law and treaties that belong in the dustbin of history, that defend our enemies and straitjacket our ability to defend ourselves. You have bowed down at the altar to every single dangerous, perilous, pathetic and weak woke ideology out there, filling up your shopping cart, showering yourself in faux moral glory.
And thank you very much. That this woman should be the next Prime Minister of Great Britain. Thoughts?
She's more like Maggie. Yeah, I think that would be fabulous. And hey, our guest is here, Chris. You want to
How are you
introduce him?
guys?
All right, we have Colonel Josh McConkey.
Yeah, just McDonald was McConkey.
McConkey, yeah, Colonel
Yeah,
Josh McConkey. It's
that
hard
was
for me
the
to see. I'm
takedown,
nearsighted.
guys. And
That's
if
right.
you guys want a cool England story, I've got one for you.
Let's hear it.
All right. So
Does it involve good teeth or not? Because
yeah. Probably a lot of bad teeth there with the
Yeah,
classic
baby.
British. So I lived in New Zealand. When I got back from Iraq, I kind of had a tough time just jumping back into civilian life in the United States as an emergency doctor. Met my wife, who's an amazing person. We moved to New Zealand. So I played soccer at Rotorua United, and there was a gentleman who was in the police force. He's from England. I won't name him, just Ben. And him and his wife, they get married, they have a kid in New Zealand, and they moved back to the UK. They were both British. So when I was at Lakenheath on a TDY, temporary duty, I had lunch with him. And so this is probably about 2016 or 2017. He now is with the British police, the UK, and he does counterintelligence. He sat me down and told me how completely screwed they were. So his job, where was he at? He was in Birmingham. And in Birmingham, they let in so many immigrants who had no plans of assimilating at all into England, into society. There's an entire region of Birmingham that's walled off. They fly an ISIS flag. It's a little ISIS caliphate right in the middle of Birmingham, England. And his job is to monitor it. And he says he just worries every single day, am I going to miss something that results in like 50 people getting murdered? I mean, they're in there genitally mutilating their kids. Just all of those crazy things from the Middle East. They just made a little caliphate right there in Birmingham, England.
Yeah, no, I worked with the Association of British Muslims, who was the oldest Islamic organization, and they hate the immigrants because they are the British Muslims from the old colonies from Pakistan, and I can tell you the Pakistanis hate these guys. It's not a good thing. So
yeah,
welcome, Doctor.
I have a proposal, by the way, gentlemen.
What's that?
If Britain wants to control its immigration situation, the next prime minister has to require every migrant to agree to always dress like Jacob Rees-Mogg, or at least as sharply as he does, before being allowed to become or being allowed to live in that country.
That's right. And they have to do their own version of shepherd's pie that includes pork.
That's right. And they have to recite at least 75 lines from either the Young Ones or the Blackadder.
Or the prisoner.
There we go. Prisoner. Definitely the prisoner.
Anyway, so Doctor, welcome to the show. So I hope you're not a Dr. Jill Biden's a doctor, but you're a real doctor. You're not a dental. No. You're not a dental proctologist.
I'm a real doctor.
You're not a dental proctologist, right?
Yeah. I'm an emergency doctor, emergency physician, and I'm also fellowship boarded in EMS. So I do a lot of medical direction, combat search and rescue, special operations, and critical care air transport, like mobile ICU.
I've been in combat with the combat search and rescue guys. Matter of fact, if you read my book Dark Heart, I'm on the Sea Star Bird with those guys going in. So,
fantastic!
in Afghanistan.
Amazing individuals.
Oh yeah, well, Air Force has some really good capabilities. My friend Brigadier General Blaine Holt and I always joke. You guys used to be the junior service. Now we've got the Space Force to kick around, so it's good.
Yeah. It's Space Force, and I was prior Army, so my time in Iraq was with the Army. So I was Army for 9 years before the Air Force. My deployment scared the hell out of me. I switched to the Air Force after that.
Well, you guys always do have nicer stuff. I'll say that for you. But by the way, on another note, related to your being a doctor, my fiance is a Navy Lieutenant Commander, senior surgical nurse. As a matter of fact, as we speak, she's up in Portsmouth at our duty station. She runs the surgical teams that support the doctors. So she's up there right now doing that. So it's
sweet.
Cool. Yeah. And by the way, I'm a county commissioner, so I serve on like 3 different boards which are medically oriented. So I keep trying to get the county of Chihuahua to send me to medical school so I know what the hell I'm doing. I won't do it. I don't know why. But on to bigger and better things. So, Chris, what do we want to talk about next? What did you want to bring up for us to chat?
Well, let's talk about. I want to talk about the underlying issues when it comes to Iran and China and everything else. But first, let's get to what's been happening. Of course, it's been pretty much. This could be a one-sided war, but it could be. I don't think it's going to be as short as Donald Trump says it's going to be. Whenever I hear the government say it's only going to be a couple of weeks, I remember back in 2020. So again,
So,
Iran
well,
is
speaking
probably
of that, so doctor, so you've got a nickname, right? Blackjack, is that your nickname?
Blackjack. Yes.
Oh.
Yeah,
So,
that's
so
my call sign.
that's opposed to the blue flu that's the Tony Fauci nickname, right? Blue
Oh,
flu, was that
geez.
what that was?
Yeah.
Look-
And I don't, and he was not military. I'm sure he didn't never had a call sign.
No, he's a Keebler elf. I don't know if you know. He's up in New Jersey, hiding out on a lawn somewhere.
Lifetime
right now.
bureaucrat.
They call
No,
him the
yeah.
needle. There we go.
All right.
Or needle nose.
That's right. Keep going, Chris.
Right. So the U.S. and Israel are trying to take down Iran. We found out from Marco Rubio recently that intelligence says it could have been a lot worse, or something big was going to brew if this didn't happen.
Yeah.
Your thoughts on this?
So
Well,
I can give you guys a little backstory.
Yeah.
So the envoy that President Trump had sent to negotiate, right? Kushner and it was at
Wyckoff. Steve
yeah,
Wyckoff.
Wyckoff. So they get into the room with the Iranians, and this is some public reporting, something nothing classified. So they sit down, and the Iranians right off the bat just walk in, drop like, "Hey, we've got this much enriched uranium, enough for this many nuclear bombs. F you." That's how they started these negotiations.
Right.
And there was a lot of yelling and screaming, and then the American delegation just walked out of the room, gave them a little time, came back in. And so the negotiations, the entire time, the Trump administration went above and beyond, like, trying to get some type of diplomatic solution to that. The Iranians had zero interest. They came in with crazy, unrealistic demands and started right off the bat saying, "We've already got the bomb. You can't stop us. Screw you." That's how they started.
Yeah.
And we have seen now how that's ending for them. So
yeah, and there's a couple of, well, on that point, Doctor, I'm going to throw in a couple of things. There's some other intel that has not been fully expanded yet because it came from a handful of sources. The Iranians were also trying to pursue, from a third source, nuclear-tipped missiles, and may have paid a country to manufacture them for them. So that was another element in the equation of action. So keep going. I just want to throw it in.
yeah. So at the end of the day, regardless of whatever side of the fence you're on or what your feelings on with like starting another engagement, you cannot, under any circumstance, allow the Iranians to have nuclear weapons. You just can't. Like
Right.
the world would be, it'd be absolute chaos. You just can't do it. So this needed to happen.
Yeah, and I want to break that point, and maybe you can expand it a little bit. So this Sunni Shia split goes back 1,000 years. I've been referring to the Billy Joel song, "We didn't start the fire," and we didn't. But we need to fight it within the context of maintaining our equities and our interests. And one of the issues, which has been very clear in my judgment, is the fact that the mullahs, the theocracy that runs Iran, has said flat out, as a matter of state policy, we're going to destroy the Israelis and we're going to come after the American interests next, which means the Arabs. And their belief, and this is something that I don't know, and we had this chat, Chris, this is maybe we want to bring on Susan and Cherie on this because they agreed with us. The fact is that we had a knowledge that goes back to the beginning of that theocracy in 1979, that their interest is creating conditions for the 12th Imam, the Mahdi, to return, their version of Jesus and Allah all in one. And basically the only way to get him to come back, this Mahdi, as crazy as it sounds, is to destroy the world, right? So, you can't actually deal with people who believe that their faith requires them to destroy the world to fulfill their religious destiny, right? I mean, that's kind of
there's no rationalizing with that type of people.
I'll give it points for creativity, though. I mean, they're not exactly as original as the Nation of Islam with the spaceship taking it was it Venus or somewhere else?
Uranus.
Yeah, that's it.
So, not that I'm criticizing Uranus. Don't write the show and complain about Uranus.
You can find a lot of Klingons around there.
All right, so let's keep going. So the bottom line is, by the way, Colonel, I think you'd agree, we should be thankful to President Trump for allowing all of those mullahs to meet their maker. I think it's great that he arranged a direct meeting with Allah for all of those guys, right? I mean, who else?
One-way ticket.
How benevolence is that? Is it right? All at once, all 40 got to go.
Well, and then the 88 that came together after that and trying to elect the new leader of, I mean, you talk about getting so many rungs down on the totem pole there, and then Israel found out about that meeting and whacked all them too. So they're scraping the bottom of the barrel there for leadership. I mean, there can't be many left.
Yeah, and I that's what I'm saying. I hate to dispute Chris, but I don't think it's going to last much longer because we're running out of targets. Plus,
Yeah,
one of the
that
things,
makes
Chris,
sense.
I want to do an audible here. There's this knucklehead Chicago University guy saying, "Oh, it's terrible. Pete Hegseth announced today we're going to gravity bombs. We're out of precision munitions." Like, no, we now have something called air dominance. We have sea dominance, which means that we can fly legacy systems like the B-52 that was designed before I was even born. We can just fly in there with the F-15Es and everything else. So why would you want to use a $200 million Tomahawk when you can fly in a B-52 for like 1/8 the cost? You know what I'm saying? It's like,
Yeah.
So what do you think of that, Doctor? I mean, this whole nonsense at the left, oh, it's all gloom and doom. We're all doomed. What do you think?
This literally, President Trump has stopped World War III.
Yeah.
So if Iran gets a nuclear weapon, they will use it. They're crazy, not crazy like some Russians and Putin in North Korea, but crazy like they will do exactly what they say they're going to do and end the world. So this was a monumental decision, but it wasn't even a decision. Anybody in any sound mind that had the information at hand there and really understood what was at stake, nobody would have paused for a second to make that decision. So you see the left just crying and whining, and the pro-Palestinian, just it's so ridiculous. This had to happen. There's no question about it. The president literally ended World War III before it even started, and they're still whining about it. So it just shows you the derangement syndrome that they've got.
Let's talk about the social aspects of this, because one of the things that was very clear about the theocracy is that the mullahs, as faithful men of Islam who like goats, by the way, just saying, it's nothing wrong if you like goats. The issue to me is they believed women to be essentially chattel. They actually have these mullahs out making comments relating to the fact that women are like animals. And I'm not joking about this. How is it our left is supporting a regime now that actually said that women are essentially no greater than an animal that would be traded? How does the left do this?
Well, they have such a bizarre and perverse view of reality. So I don't think any of them even understand. So you see a lot of them marching from these colleges and universities like pro-Palestine and LGBTQ for Palestine. Any of them would not last 10 seconds in that environment, because they don't even understand that of all that theology, like anybody of gay, lesbian, dead immediately, murdered, strung up on poles. I mean, they just have such a lack of fundamental reality on how that part of the world actually works and operates and believes. It's bizarre. I mean, you try to explain it to them, and I've been there. I've seen what they do to each other. I've carried body bags. It's a region of the world that is so completely different. We are not compatible in the slightest with our Western civilization. It's just not. We can agree to disagree, right? But they will never just fit together. It's not.
But wait a minute. I heard from Whoopi Goldberg that it's harder to be a black man in America, a black person in America, than it is to be living under that oppressive Iranian regime.
Just remember, the Iranians literally throw gay people off of buildings. They don't adhere to basic human rights.
Here's the thing. Let's not do that, because if we start with that, we have been known in this country to tie gay folks to the car.
Where the Iranian regime
not in my part of the country.
There's nothing
used to just keep hanging black people. So
it is not even the same. I couldn't step foot during this.
Wait. That's not what you mean to say. It is the same.
No, it's not. The year 2025 in the United States is nothing like if I step foot wearing this outfit in Toronto.
Listen, I'm sorry.
Listen, I can't have my hair showing. I can't wear a skirt. I can't have my arms out.
I'm telling you,
I literally said it was up to the Iranian people.
Yes,
it is up to them.
And that's why I am saying that it is the same. Murdering someone for their difference is not good. Whoever does it, it's not good. So that's why I said You weren't saying what I heard was not what you meant.
I think it's very different to live in the United States in 2025 than it is to live in a.
Probably the most amazing thing about this clip is it was about a minute and a half long, and Joy Behar didn't cackle in.
Yeah. So, Doctor, I don't want to get you in trouble, but can you tell us, is Whoopi Goldberg surgically or mentally deficient somehow? Because she's nuts.
Like her, like Rosie O'Donnell, right? I mean, why don't you guys just take a one-way ticket, and why don't you just hang out in the Middle East, or just for 10 seconds? You just let me know how that goes for you. You know, it's a completely different world. They have no understanding about how any of that works in reality. It's
no. I mean, you've probably, I don't know if you've been to downtown Kabul, but I spent some time there, and it was always notable that you have women wearing burqas. And for those who don't know what burqas are the full face covering. And if you're a woman in Kabul, especially now, you have to, even if it's 110 degrees, 120 degrees, you have to have a full face covering on. It's insane. And they're forcing them to do that because women are not considered equal to men. And again, I don't know how. Yeah, go ahead.
This makes it a good idea, Tony. I mean, think about it. The View girls should be going to these countries because they're required to have a bag over their head. That would be perfect. Yeah. They'd look better, number one. And I would love to see The View live in Mogadishu.
Have you seen Joy Behar without makeup?
Oh yeah, it would just be comical. I mean,
I had a dream about that, but Freddy Krueger was in that too.
Yeah, well, I think it's notable that you have these people like Whoopi who literally have no understanding of the culture which they're criticizing. And my colleague is black on the council on the county committee, and I don't think he has a bad life. As a matter of fact, he works as an executive at one of the boat companies down here. I don't think, as a black man, his life is like living in Tehran under the theocracy. Just saying. So I think the evidence is, and I don't know, Chris, does Kathy Hochul tie gay people to things in New York? I don't think so.
No. I've known she's been known to handle the whip a few times, but
I'm sure that's
another story. That's when she was known as Madam Hochul.
Yeah,
it's another story for another.
Put that picture back up for the doctor to see. Did you know that she Hochul was the star of Planet 9 from Outer Space? Doctor, did you know that? Put the picture.
Not.
Yeah,
I have to pull that up again. So my timing's a little off on this one since I erased it, but we do have plenty of photos of her. Let's see.
So always have whenever we're talking about and whenever we're talking about her, have a picture of it. So.
Yeah, there we go. We could use more of those. Let's see. Let me see. I'll pull it up out of my library of Hochul pictures.
Yeah.
And this is her. The resemblance is uncanny. The eyebrows, the makeup, and everything else. The hair. And Vampira, though, was not a Bills fan. I believe she was a fan of the Bears, who, by the way, won't be in Chicago anymore.
Yeah, that's true. They're leaving. They're going to Indiana, where the living is better, I guess.
So, are you talking about the Bears?
Yes.
Is that official? Is that official, or are they just talking about it?
They're looking at going to another town or Indiana, outside the state. Because the Chicago and Illinois, Chicago's taxes are way too high, and they're not giving these people, they're not giving the Bears a break, and the Bears really bring in money to that city.
Yep. Another Brandon success, right? There's a reason that guy's named Brandon, right, Chris?
Well, imagine somebody saying, "Boy, I missed Lightfoot as the mayor."
Man,
Lori Lightfoot, I think was her name. Yeah.
Didn't they have a sequel that she starred in, Beetlejuice 2? Wasn't she in that?
Beetlejuice on Fire also starred Karen Bass.
Oh, I didn't know that. It's interesting. So anyway, keep going, Chris. What's next?
Let's see. All right, let's go deeper into this because if you want to look at what's been really going on this year alone, let's add a portion of last year. Donald Trump has been talking about wrestling control of the Panama Canal back to us because China has virtual control over that particular trade route.
I think it's changing.
Secondly, we're going to talk to. It's going to be another deep dive soon. One of the gentlemen who is interested in Copia Port, who has had an interest in Copia Port B, a deep water port in China. Excuse me, in Chile, where I'm getting old here. A deep water port in Chile that China was interested in, and it's now been sold or being sold to interests that are pro-America. Venezuela, President Maduro, who uses China as a favored nation status when it comes to trading oil. And now Iran, the situation there, we kind of help Israel out, but also that chokes China a little bit too. Let's look at this. A lot of what Donald Trump has been doing as far as foreign policy and aggressive foreign policy has been to throttle China.
Yeah. So yeah, doctor, let's talk about that for a second, because one of the notable features of China, and this is something I used to be a military planner against China. I spent a lot of time at Camp Smith in Hawaii. China, any given day, has between 3 to 4 weeks of oil on hand. That is to say, their economy being as big as it is with the billion plus people they've got, they have a huge requirement. Plus, they have a huge industry. So the moment you start choking things off from Venezuela, which we have, and now from 30% of all the petroleum needs, oil needs from China, that China has, comes through the Suez, and from I'm geezing now too, through the Straits of Hormuz. So do you think Trump is doing this purposely to hinder China's ability to maintain their economy?
So this is the big picture chess game that Trump has been playing beautifully. While the left just whines and cries and has their derangement syndrome about everything. I mean, sure, he has some things a little bit off the wall. The guy's not perfect, but when you really look at the most impactful national security and really kind of future and stability of the United States, 50 years from now, it's going to be one of the more consequential presidents that we've ever had. And the left just hates to hear that. But China has been getting involved. So I spent a little bit of time in like Central Africa, Rwanda, and you see what they've done in Central America, Central and South America. So the Chinese whole plan over the last 20 years, they move into these regions and they know they're poor. They take advantage of resources and their capabilities, but they offer them some infrastructure, and then they take over their manufacturing. And really what they do, especially with Central America, is they keep them all commodity dependent. So if they can take all the manufacture, all the big business in tech, and just keep their entire economy without China runs solely on just agriculture and commodities, they've got them by the balls.
Yeah, it's great.
And presidents have just cowed down to that and just basically let it happen for a couple of decades now. President Trump is finally re-exerting like some of that Monroe Doctrine. Like, listen, it's our hemisphere, stay the hell out. And it's a national security issue on so many different levels. And now the game that he's playing with choking off that oil supply. So within this presidential term, Venezuela, Cuba may fall, Iran falls. Like, this will be, whether the left likes it or not, the most consequential president in my lifetime. I'm almost 50, and maybe even more. So it's a very big picture game.
Well, that's what I don't understand about the way the left is approaching this, because I've heard a number of folks saying, "Oh, well, what he's doing will have no impact." It's like, are you nuts? Are you like not watching what's going on? And to that point, I know it's all aspirational thinking. It's like, oh no, he's not really changing anything, and oh, he's destroying our alliances. Well, maybe those alliances need to be rethought anyway, especially regarding what just happened with Canada and the UK and all the Five Eyes issues. And I've been in combat with our allies, but those allies we were in combat with 20 years ago aren't the same allies we're dealing with today. Just saying. And I think it's something we have to rethink. Regarding that, though, regarding the pace, like as we speak, we now have U.S. Department of Defense resources in Ecuador doing raids on drugs. So clearly, as one of the guys said, we're off doing side quests in the large game of global chess, like we are, and it's very effective. So what is it then that differentiates President Trump from these other guys? And I don't want to make light of this, but everything he's doing, every president since basically Clinton has had the opportunity to do, to include George Bush 43, Obama, all these things that they're happening, we knew about. We knew China could be constricted by limiting their oil access. We knew Venezuela was a bad player, but we let them play badly and harm us. Why is it that Trump has the political will, doctor, and other presidents didn't have the political will to do what's right for the American people?
That's exactly it. And it's because he's not that traditional politician.
Yeah.
I mean, it's some of the decisions, some of the things that he says, obviously are much different than any president we've ever had. But at the end of the day, it is America first.
Yeah.
Period. and playing all the games and catering to donors and big business and just everything. The corruption, and the cesspool that is Washington, D.C. And I've been up there 4 years now as a commander at Andrews Air Force Base in the reserves. And now I serve there in the emergency management capacity. I was at FEMA headquarters during the big storm, Winter Fern. And I mean, just honestly, what you see going on in Washington, D.C., it is such an absolute cesspool. You finally have a president that just isn't that career politician that just comes in there and just does the right thing for America and pisses everyone else off. But he's got the balls to do it. And it's, people agree, disagree. I mean, even on the Republican side of things, but it's getting done and you cannot question that he's doing it for America.
And that's why I want to talk briefly about the Pentagon, because he brought Dan Kane, General Kane. I don't know him personally, but several friends of mine do know him. They brought him out of retirement, upending the succession process. You know how the Pentagon is. They have all these, we got to have this admiral do it for a while, and we're going to bring in a Marine Corps general because, he knows how to use crayons better than everybody else. and all that stuff is true. So I know Marines. I was in combat with Marines. By the way, Doctor, do you know that they figured out what brought down that U.S. Marine Corps F-35 in South Carolina a couple years ago? Did you hear?
No, I haven't.
Yeah. So let me show you what happened. So what happened was a pilot was flying with his activity set of crayons, and he dropped it. The crayon spilled out on the floor, and he went to pick them up, and the F-35 crashed. So there you have it. I think they're prohibiting crayons in Marine Corps F-35s now, right, Chris? Isn't that what the report is?
Well, no, anyway. But Mr. Scratch markers, I guess, are
you got to use something that's not crayon related because they melt too, and they didn't like Marines eating them either. But that's another story. I don't want to go down that path.
Terrible.
But he's a doctor. He knows how to handle it. Anyway, but Doctor, my question I'm trying to get to here is that I think picking Pete Hegseth was a brilliant move. Now, Pete and I are friends. We've been friends a long time. With that said, Pete had no organic relationship to any defense contractor, which is a huge departure. And I believe with that departure comes a great deal of clarity of what's best for the enterprise. What do you think?
I'll tell you, as a military commander, an active reservist, seeing that focus come back to lethality, and then when he sat down all the generals, oh my gosh, I wanted to be in that room so badly. I was away on a business trip because they did actually stand up an emergency operations center, and they had some EPLOs there, emergency management. Just come to Jesus. Listen. Yeah. Your fat little general asses are going to take the same PT test that everybody else does. And people that were mocking it and laughing it. I even had Jon Stewart, the show, reach out and wanted to do a quick bit and mention that somehow and fit in some comedy, and ended up the schedules didn't work out. But you can't, as a leader, see the people above you held to different standards than the men and women on the ground. As a military commander, I hold myself to an extremely high level, and I expect the same thing for the people I serve with. And then you see, and I know because I was a flight surgeon, I actually had a civilian role where I did the profiles and the waivers for the general officers and leadership. And I literally had my career threatened by one of them that had some big medical issues, and it turned into a huge, basically tried to throw her weight around because she wanted a star, and she wanted. It just was a whole
I've seen those officers. I deal with them. I deal with several still, just saying. So.
Like just not fit for military service, but just leaning on people and threatening people to get waivers pushed through so they can sit a general officer board. It was horrific. I mean, it's just such lack of integrity. It made me sick. So knowing that he sat down and just had that little come to Jesus moment with them, I was so happy to see that. That's clearly the right move.
Well, he by the way, obviously, he maintains a real physical fitness regime. I mean, he does, and I've known that a long time before. And so, and like I challenged him to a pull-up contest. He said, "Nah, you'd probably beat me, so no." So it's okay, which is true. I do 20 a day, and I'm 63. So what can I say? With that said, though, my point I'm trying to get to is that within the context of the enterprise, the defense enterprise, I've known, you were an Army guy for a while. I've known senior officers who would take the written PT test, in that they would write in the results and never take the test, which is like, okay, this is a massive departure of integrity. And I got fed up during the Obama years, especially because I retired back during the Obama years, of seeing all these senior officers fudging everything because, oh, we're senior officers, we can do it. And I'm glad that's ending, because that should never be something that's permitted to stand. A good friend of mine, General Tony Shaffer, was commandant of the War College, and he had told me when I was up there working for him, we were doing some seminars on things, and he had told me that he was getting flack from the lieutenant colonels and colonels attending the War College because he, Tony Shaffer, reintroduced the requirement that they brief their thesis to him at the end of the course. Like, how dare you require that we stand up and actually defend our perspective
and actually do something? Yeah.
And he said that there was this immense entitlement that had infected the officer system. This is back 15 years ago, 10 years ago. So do you think we're past that right now? Do you think we're getting past this entitlement of senior officers?
Yeah. And then because you saw even on the Air Force side, whether it was that probably 10 plus years ago, probably about the same time frame with the big cheating scandal,
Yep.
on the Air Force side, just leadership. You have to lead from the front, and you have to hold yourself to even higher standards than the people that serve underneath you. And just when you see that not happening, it's very disheartening. And I just so happy to see the direction that it's at right now. I'm proud to serve. I still wear the uniform, and I got 24 years of service in. I will tell you, under the Biden administration, it was difficult, and we have a civilian-led military. I uphold the Constitution, and I just disagreed with a lot of that, but I kept my mouth shut. And that's why you see these like general officers, and there was like the NATO commander, they ended up getting relieved of duty because they were spouting off about Trump. Hey, listen, I had to suck it up under Biden. I kept my mouth
I know.
shut. It sucked. It was miserable. But you're
I
a
had to suck a lot
professional,
up,
and we follow the civilian-led leadership. And
Yeah.
I was happy to see him go.
Yeah. So, and I had advised Joe Dunford, and I were close friends, General Dunford, and I was one of his. We put together a small team to advise him, and even he was shocked that he was selected because he was a no nonsense general, and I was shocked. I knew they were going to pick him. He didn't believe me, but it's like, no, they're going to pick you. And Dunford actually did a survey when he was commandant, and when he came back from Afghanistan, he was commandant of the Marine Corps, and he did a survey to show, basically, to demonstrate what the effects would be to treat women as equals in combat roles. And basically, he showed that no matter how you cut it, women always end up at the bottom 2% of any combat unit because of frailty, and because of the fact that they just don't have the body strength or endurance to maintain the level of tempo with men. Period. It has nothing to do with that.
It's just
And
biology.
I've known a few women who
These are
could hang very
facts.
few, but they buried this. They basically, Obama took it and said, no, we're going to ignore it because we don't agree with facts. So do you think a fact-based military is more important than feelings-based?
Yeah, obviously, and that's what Hegseth has brought as well. I mean, if you're a 200-pound dude and you're out in a firefight and you take lead, somebody may have to carry you off the field.
Exactly.
And if you can't pick up that man and carry them, they die.
Yeah.
So those are just real life decisions. That's biology. That's fact.
Yeah.
It's indisputable. And so the majority of women are not going to be able to do that. If they can, fantastic. Good for you. Like, welcome to the ranks. It just has to be fact-based, biology-based. Can you actually physically do the job? Great. I mean, it doesn't matter what sex you are. If you can do it, great. And it's just the fact is a lot of them are not able to do that. And that's okay. There's other roles for them. There's lots of support roles, like flight roles. I mean, just, if you can't pick up a 200-pound dude, then you can't be on the front line.
Yeah. And by that, we've had, and this is one of the things that I've talked about on here before, we had within at least Army Special Operations Forces, a certain unit at Fort Belvoir that I can't talk about, had included women long before we acknowledged and it was all based on requirements, not on desire. Like, you can't have someone sign up. It's like, oh, I want to be a really slick, cool special operations gal who wears polo shirts and what's the glasses we all wear? Oakleys. I want to wear Oakleys and have a polo shirt for a duty uniform. It's like, yeah, it doesn't work like that, but it's true. So anyway, anything else you want to hit before we sign off, Chris? Because we're running out of time here.
We are actually out of time, and I want to just mention one more time. Please subscribe to us, like us, spread the word, tell people that we're here. Also, check us out again. Subscribe to Tony on X for the big deep dive tomorrow and all the past ones, the Sunday debriefs every week. A lot of great stuff. Tony's private, well, let's just put it this way, exclusive commentary as well on X, all stuff you really can't get in public. And that's at T Spooky, by the way.
T Spooky. Yeah, X, let me simplify it. Anyway, don't forget, tomorrow we're going to have my friend John Bachman, my fellow Newsmax contributor, compatriot, John Bachman, talking about his new book, literally just out, Turning Point, How Reagan Liberated Grenada and Won the Cold War. And as I mentioned, I helped John get some original sources, my friend, Dr. Chris Lehman. By the way, doctor, he's not your kind of doctor. He's a Dr. Kissinger type doctor that destroys the world. Different category.
And I'm more like Dr. Johnny Fever.
That's right. That's right. And then Ed Meese, my friend Ed Meese, who, by the way, I don't know if did you know, Josh, that Ed Meese was a retired full Army colonel? Who was he was a military case officer from Fort Holabird long before we moved our training to Camp Perry. Anyway, Ed Meese helped John with this. A lot of really good insight on what happened inside the decision making of the Reagan administration. A really excellent book. I highly recommend it. I recommend it so much I'm giving it out as gifts. So out of my own pocket, by the way, too. So just saying.
Well, I appreciate you guys having me on the show.
Thanks, Josh.
Too.
So, Josh, where do people find you? Where do people find you?
Yeah, if you go to strongernc.com, I'm running for lieutenant governor here in North Carolina, and we need purpose-driven leadership, people that want to join that team.
Well, we should talk because I'm a county commissioner in North Carolina.
In North Carolina?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
I'm on the Chowan County commissioners. As a matter of fact, I had to go to finishing school because they want me to. They're trying to get me to do more. Anyway,
right. You're in Lori.
So
Lori
my neighbor. I'm looking out my window. I'm looking at her house. Lori Buckout.
Oh yeah, no, I was texting her this morning. Congratulate her for the primary win.
Yeah, I texted with her last night. So no, I mean,
fantastic.
literally,
well, we got to bring her on too.
We live across. I mean, I'm not joking. I'm looking at her house right now. We live across the field from it. We live on an active farm. So
I was chatting with her this morning.
Very cool. Well, anyway, so we should talk because we're all trying to do the right thing for North Carolina.
Please do.
So anyway, don't be a stranger. Come back anytime. And I guess that's it. So before you go, what part of North Carolina do you live in?
I'm in Apex, so right on the edge of Chatham County and Wake County, just down by, if you know where New Hill is at, that tiny little post office is down there on Old US 1 past Vicious Fishes. That's closed down now, unfortunately.
So you know where I'm at then too.
I do know. Well, yeah, because you're up there in the first district. So where do you live?
Right next to Lori in Edenton. Literally,
Edenton.
We all live in Edenton. So a bunch of us came down here to retire. And we're kind of taking over. Don't tell them. Don't tell anybody we're taking over. Just shh. But
it's kind of like the reverse London, right?
Yeah, exactly. We like knives and guns. We're not going to take things away, right? No, we're not. So, all right, Josh. Well, stay in touch because we should talk more because you're going to be on the ballot this November, right?
It'll be 2028. So now it's all about.
So you got a while.
Yeah, U.S. Senate race and these congressional races, and then 2028 is ours.
Well, so Michael Whatley won for the Republicans.
Yep,
I think, didn't he?
Yeah, he won.
And then Lori won here, right? And so it's good. Yeah, so I'm going to see Lori probably this week at some point. We're trying to get together because we're all Republicans down here trying to make a difference. So it's good.
Absolutely.
So all right,
tell her hello.
I will. Well, thanks, Josh. And good to see you. Thanks for joining us. Don't be a stranger. Come back and join us again. Right, Chris? You can have him back, right?
Appreciate it, guys.
Absolutely.
Right. And thanks, folks, for being here, tuning in. We'll be back again tomorrow night, as I mentioned, with John Bachman. We got our deep dive on Sunday. Oh, Josh, before you go, we do a deep dive show on strategy on Sundays with my friend, Brigadier General.
The Sunday debrief. It's great.
Sunday debrief.
Yeah, I might check that out sometime.
They could use it there for Scott.
You ought to, because we actually we pick 3 topics and go through the deep dives. And the debriefing doesn't require any underwear. We're not that kind of debriefing. Just saying. So we're more casual, right, Chris?
Right. And
no underwear required.
Right. And we also have Navy Captain Pete O'Brien there too, so we can actually round it out a little bit. Army, Navy, and Air Force.
There we go.
Right. So Pete, by the way, was the director of Fleet Intel under Steve Cambone back in the early 2000s. We all come out of a pretty deep background of doing stuff. So anyway, that's it.
Lovely.
So we'll look forward to having Josh back. Chris, anything else before we go? Any other?
I say subscribe to T Spooky, subscribe to us. Thank you for being here. And we'll be here next week. We got a lot of really good stuff coming up in the next few weeks.
And don't forget, we're going to have our Hollywood friends show up at some point too, right?
Our Hollywood we might have a dictator, a future dictator or president of the world showing up. Yes,
and I do guarantee we're going to bring Bob Hayes on from Airplane. Although I can't guarantee. For those who did follow, he did send me. He was watching the Super Bowl with autopilot. Oh, so yeah, you should appreciate that, Josh. My friend Bob Hayes, we got him an autopilot. So he was watching, he had auto all blown up next to him on the couch during the Super Bowl. It was really cool. So
very cool.
Anyway, we'll get Bob on sometime too. Anyway, I guarantee it. Right. So just like Joe Isuzu. Right.
David Leisure was a fine actor.
He was. We got to go. All right. Well, thanks, folks. It's always good to see you all. And I saw some folks found us from our Wake Up Patriots Day. That's great. Maybe
welcome again, Deborah.
Should we go on? Should we go on Wake Up Patriots and tell people where to find us? Because this is not the first time.
They have to invite us on. They haven't invited us on, so we'll see.
They kind of did, but we've been busy, so maybe we should.
I never got emails from them, so. Oh. they probably bypassed me and go to the Real Star. That's what they do.
Well, you know how it is. People do try to bypass you as if like I'm not going to check with you first. Like check with Chris.
Yeah, that actually is what happens. A lot of the major personalities just say, "Hey, I got a guy. Go through him. He's
By the way,
handler,
the Joe Piscopo interview went very well this morning. I love Joe.
That's right.
We should have Joe come on. See if
I'd like to do
Joe
that.
Guys. Yeah,
we should talk. Hey, you're on all the time. And by the way, I was going to think about that. I had a Joe Piscopo reference already lined up for the day. And since it's the end, I'm going to use it. We're doing overtime. Donald Trump is a line in the sand president. Now, remember, Barack Obama draws his line in the sand. They step over it and so I'll draw another line in the sand. Well, let me tell you something. Just like Denny Vermin, somebody steps over his line once. Remember that from Johnny Dangerously?
I haven't seen that movie.
Denny Vermin would say, "Hang me on a hanger." My grandmother hung me on a hanger once. Or
I haven't seen that movie in 20 years, so you got me on that one, Chris.
I see that all the time.
We should have talked about The Prisoner. At least I'm familiar with The Prisoner. So they went in a different direction. Well, they did, and that's okay. I mean,
yeah.
But one of their folks said, Trixie, and Trixie told me she misses us being over there because
I miss her. I miss them both.
We had a different. Our format. It wasn't.
Thank you, Deborah.
Yeah, it wasn't better or worse. It was just different. That's all.
Yeah,
not like Rainbow Coalition different either. Not like that.
Well, I'd like to say I like what Tracy and George are doing with their promos. So that's a lot of fun to watch too. And George is cool no matter what he does.
Yeah, of course. No, I love those guys. I mean, there's no animosity. There's nothing bad. I mean, we just all decided, and I got more and more pulled into Newsmax, as y'all know. I got promoted.
And I
got to do things.
And I do production. I have a production business, so I kind of I have to do that too. And I decided work with Tony and concentrate on my production work. Yeah.
So only so many hours in a day.
Yes.
We're not like Donald Trump. We don't work till 3 a.m. and have a bottle of Fresca and get up and do it again.
I prefer Dr. Pepper.
Dr. Pepper. How about Dr. Napalm, which they're getting right now in Tehran? Just saying.
Well, understand that you like the smell of that every morning.
That's right. And God, we didn't really do a tribute to Robert De Niro. And I think he was a great. He lived in Virginia too. So
Robert De Niro, as you know, and we did this in the thread, by the way, over the weekend. Robert De Niro, the hit song by Bananarama, Robert De Niro's Waiting.
Yeah.
Well, he was the second choice.
Really? What was the first choice?
The girls were big fans of Al Pacino.
Oh.
And the song was really supposed to be Al Pacino's waiting, talking Italian, but it just didn't fit with the beat. So they decided to scrape the next level, the lower level of the mafia actors and use Robert De Niro's name.
Well, that's good. Well, Al Pacino's better than the other Robert. Anyway, we got to go. Well, good seeing everybody. Say goodbye.
Meow.
Meow.
Get me out of here.
He's out of here and we're out of here. Take care.
All right.